Welcome to our second virtual session for the English class. Today we will continue with active and passive voice. As we were saying on the previous video, we use passive voice when we want to talk about an action without saying who did it, or when the person who did the action is not important. We can also use it to emphasize what happened rather than who did it. Now, if we want to state the agent or the person who did the action, we can also do it using the passive voice. But we would use it for two main reasons. One of the reasons why we would use the passive voice to state or to name the agent who did the action is when the agent of that action is important. Let's take a look at this example. In this example right here, I'm saying the gold medal was won by Michael Jordan. Notice that this sentence is written using passive voice. We know that because there is a conjugated form of the verb to be, a verb in past participle, a preposition that in this case is the word by, and a subject, or in this case, the agent of the action. So, in this case, what we are emphasizing is the fact that Michael Jordan was the person who won that gold medal. So, we're using passive voice to emphasize the agent because the agent is important. Let's take a look at the second reason why we would use passive voice to emphasize the agent. In this example, we are using the passive voice to emphasize that the agent of the action is unusual. If we read the sentence, it says, "The last steak was eaten by a vegetarian." So, in this sentence, it's also using the passive voice. We have a conjugated form of the verb to be. We also have the verb in past participle. We have this word right here, which is a preposition, and we also have the agent of that action. So what we're saying is that of course it is unusual for a vegetarian to eat a steak. So we're emphasizing that fact. Let's move on. We form all forms of passive voice with the verb to be plus the main verb in past participle. Now this is important, and I want you to remember that we're always talking about the main verb in the sentence. You know that there are more complex sentences where you have more than one verbs in it, so we're talking about the main verb. But most of all, what is important and what you should know is that we can use the passive voice with any tense that contains a verb. Let's take a look at the following chart. If we read this example, it says, "Alioli is made from oil, garlic, and salt." You know that this sentence right here is written in present simple, and as you can see, it's also written using passive voice. How do we know that? Because we are looking at the conjugated form of the verb to be, which is, and we also have the main verb of the sentence in past participle, which is made. Alioli is made from oil, garlic, and salt. If you notice, this is a passive voice sentence. Let's take a look at another example. The hall is being painted this week. This sentence is written in present continuous. So we know this sentence is in passive voice because we have a conjugated form of the verb to be, and the main verb is written in past participle. Let's move on. John F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. This sentence is in past simple. We know that because of the verb was, and the main verb of the sentence is in past participle, assassinated. So this is also using the passive voice. If you notice in this sentence, we are not stating who assassinated John F. Kennedy. We're just emphasizing the fact that he was in fact assassinated in 1963. In this next sentence, the signs were being put up last week. We have a sentence in past continuous where we have the main verb of the sentence in past participle. The next one is an example of a sentence in present perfect. Oranges have been grown here for centuries. You have been, which tells us that we're talking about a sentence in present perfect. And we have the main verb of the sentence in past participle. which is wrong. We also have a sentence in past perfect. When he got home, he found that his flat had been burgled. So this is a sentence using passive voice, and we can see that because we have the conjugated form of the verb to be right here, and we also have the past participle. And finally, future simple, the work will be finished next week. This is also using passive voice. Now, I hope that you notice that the only thing that changes in passive voice in all of the tenses is the form of the verb to be. The main verb of the sentence will always stay in past participle. I hope this video was helpful. Remember that we will have our discussion sessions each Tuesday at 9:20 in case you have questions about the topics seen on the videos. I will post your activities and your assignments on the blog and on the school's platform. So, see you next week. Bye.